welcome to another tutorial video. So this month's showcase is called the Perfect Pergola Hexagon box. And although it is a box die set, I'm not going to do a construction this month. I'm just going to do the up-close video, which should have gone up yesterday, and then a tutorial video today, creating some cards, rather than actually creating the box, because I know Tonic do their own constructions now, so I feel like me doing a construction too is a little bit redundant. It might be nicer to show you something else to do with the dies, rather than, you know, just seeing how it goes together again. You do get instructions in the die set. I did find one part a little bit confusing, but other than that, they were pretty straightforward to follow. And this is what it is supposed to make, minus that piece on the top. But this is what it's supposed to make. It's like, got drawers in the hexagon piece at the bottom, and then it also has 3 drawers in this central section as well. I've made mine look a little bit different. You're supposed to put the handles on the front of the drawers, and you can go to town with all of the decorative panels on it, but I wanted to go for a slightly more masculine sort of look. I kind of think this looks like something out of a computer game maybe, especially because I put this on the top. So this is actually the decanter lid from the hot air balloon. You know, the hot air balloon showcase that came out a while ago and then they relaunched it on Create and Craft. This is the piece that is supposed to make the decanter lid. So it was from showcase number 25 and this one is showcase 32, so it wasn't too long ago. But yeah, I added that on the top of it to make it look a little bit different. And I think this top portion of this could be altered to add so many different bits and pieces on the top of here as well. You can make it look really Christmassy by adding some kind of element on the top. I was also looking or thinking about going for, you know, the lanterns that came out a while ago. And they had like a curved bottom to them. I was thinking you could put the curved bottom on the top to make it have like a little dome on there for a different kind of look. But I'm sure there are loads of dies from Tonic that that are hexagonal that could definitely work as something to go on the top of here, because those lanterns did have a hexagonal base. Also the post box had a hexagonal base, I'm pretty sure, or you could even put a cotton reel on top of it from the recent cotton reel set as well. So I'm sure you could decorate the top of that with so many different things, but that's not supposed to be what I'm talking about in this video. I wanted to just give you a little quick overview of the die set so you can see some of the beautiful dies that are in here. I'm making use of 3 of the beautiful patterns, 3 of the gorgeous patterned hexagon dies, 1 pattern of the rectangle dies, and 1 of the small little patterns of the small rectangle dies that are supposed to decorate the outside of it, because I thought I would show you a technique that probably uses stuff that you already have. I thought that would be a nice way of showing you some cards with it. So we're going to use the brand new roll of Craft Perfect double-sided tissue tape, but this can be a sheet of the Craft Perfect double-sided adhesive. It can be a different roll of tape. You could butt loads of different pieces of tape together if you don't have wide tape, any kind of adhesive that's going to cover the whole background. Then I'm going to bring in some glitters. So I've got silver tinsel and steel grey glitter to use, and then I'm also going to bring in some Gilding Flakes as well. And I know a lot of you will have Gilding Flakes. This is silver bullion, because we've had multiple mini pots of Gilding Flakes in kits, or I'm sure everybody has experimented with Gilding Flakes at least one point in their crafting kind of journey. So I don't have the finished cards to show you because we're going to make them together. I thought there was quite a bit of die cutting all the shapes out, so I thought instead of just showing you how to make one card, I would and like have examples for the other 2, I thought I would just show you how to make all 3 of the cards. So I'm going to do 1 with the small rectangle, 1 with the hexagons, and 1 with this sort of little strip die. And the colours I've gone for are the sea salt green, the spearmint, and also the navy blue colours. So a different kind of colour scheme, which I think goes really, really well. And actually, I wanted to show you these 3 hexagons that I picked. When they were laying on top of each other, you can actually get like a layered look with them. I know that sea salt green is very close to the spearmint, so you can't really see it as much. But if you did that bottom layer in a mirror card, it would really show through nicely. And you could actually do some like layered hexagon kind of designs. Even just the top 2 together look fantastic. So a lot of them, well, all of the designs actually have a symmetrical kind of pattern, so they work really nicely on top of each other as another way of using them. But for our 3 cards, we're going to cover each of our panels with the double-sided adhesive, and then we're going to stick all of our elements on. Then we're going to go in with Gilding Flakes and then glitters as well. Okay, so the first step is to move all of our die cuts out of the way and cover our 3 pieces of white card with our double-sided adhesive. Now you can definitely use a darker cardstock under here, especially if you're going with slightly darker glitters. If you were going with black, I would definitely recommend using black card underneath here, but I think with the silvers we're going to be safe with using the white card underneath it. I don't think it's going to really matter if there's any white areas showing through. You know, if some glitter or some flake doesn't stick in a specific area, I think it's going to look fine. So we're going to go with the white card. So we want to peel off the end of our roll. Annoyingly, it's not quite tall enough for my panel, so we're going to go sideways with all of our pieces. And I just like to lay them on, roll it out, and lay the other ones on. But if you're using your double-sided sheets, then just use it from the sheet, peeling off one of the sides and sticking your pieces down. Then I actually have I've kept all of my red pairs of scissors. You probably see me using my red and black pairs interchangeably. All of my red handled pairs of scissors are the sticky ones, and all of the black ones are just for like fussy cutting and cutting cardstock that's not got sticky on it. So as you can see, they're sticky. I need to clean these because they are a little bit too sticky at the moment, but I do like to keep different pairs of scissors for using for sticky things. I know these do have like a non-stick kind of coating on them, but inevitably they will get sticky eventually. So to clean them off when you do want to clean your stickers, I don't know where mine, oh, it's over here. I got this from years ago. It's called Adhesive Remover. It's from Sticks 2, or you can also get any kind of like label remover and stuff too that you might use for like taking the labels off of jam jars or something like that. But you can use anything like that to take the sticky off, but I've still just been struggling along with them being sticky at the moment, so you can still manage with them, but I will clean them eventually. So I'm just going to trim all of these off. Okay, so now we've got them all covered with our adhesive, we can peel off the backing, and you want to keep this actually because we can use it to help push our die cuts into the adhesive, but you can also use this to do your Nuvo drops on, or any sort of technique where you want something to dry but you'd be able to peel it off as well. So you can definitely keep that for other applications. So for this background, I hadn't quite decided what I wanted to do, so I think I'm just going to randomly just start sticking these down. So that one I'm going to go with a brickwork pattern. This one I'm probably going to go with more of like an actual honeycomby kind of pattern. But I'm not sure what to do with this one. Do I do some the opposite way round? But then, no, I think I'm just going to go with all of them this way up. But I'm just going to shift them a little bit, I think. And this one, we could go up like that. Then do I go dark again or do I go the light first? The light first, I think. And we'll put that back in the middle, and then we'll put this one in the same position as the previous dark blue one. Then I do also have an extra one of these, or we can take our scissors and trim off that excess and put it down here. There's not quite enough, so I will just go in with the other die cut that I've already cut, just to give it a different kind of look. Okay, so we've got all of our die cut pieces on there, and that one is actually wonky, so see if we can get that on there straight. Okay, I think that's better. Then we can use this to really press them all into position. Then I'm going to use my non-sticky long pair of scissors to cut off all of these excess pieces. And we'll do all of the gilding and glittering together, so we'll move on to the next one to add our die cuts onto. So that's the first design. We can save those for something else. Then the next design, let's peel the backing off. We're going to go with the hexagons. So I think I want to point up with the hexagons. Let's go with this light one first. Then we can slot them next to each other with a tiny gap between so it looks like tiles. And hopefully we will have enough to fill in the whole background. If not, we can nick these extra pieces to add in different areas as well. Is that going to be enough if I trim this one off? Will that give me enough to go in this position? I am going to trim these two slightly smaller yeah, they are still a little bit bigger than what my final panel is going to be. So we can add that one into there. I think I might add this so that it's right the way over to the edge, because I'm going to be losing a bit on that side. So I'll go with a new die cut for this one. Then let's go with another, if we went with another light one, have we got enough left of that die cut to go there? I think so. So let's go with the sea salt, then flip it over, cut that excess off, and we mostly want the excess of the dark blue one. And I think that will just about fit in there. So we've got a beautiful hexagonal tiled kind of design for this one. Press that down really firmly using our backing sheet. And the good thing about having a double-sided roll, I know the Tonic ones are slick on both sides for the sheet, but with a roll you know they're going to be slick on both sides because they're stuck to the tape on one side, and on the other side it obviously needs to be non-stick because the other piece of tape is sticking to it, if you know what I mean, because it's in a roll. So it doesn't matter which side of the release paper that you use, which is nice, you don't have to think about it. Then we can flip this over and trim off those final pieces, which we can use on another project if we want to. Because I put aside 2 of each of the colours to use on this one, and I didn't use one of the Spearmint ones. So we've already got that to go on another card as well. So that is the Hexagon background, which looks so pretty, like gorgeous patchwork design. Then the final one, I was going to go with kind of like a brick design with all of these colours, and I had decided my pattern. So I think I was going to go like dark, light, dark with the aqua colours. Then I was going to do the brick design, so offsetting them and using half a navy one on each side. And then I was going to do light, dark, light for these ones, and then again the navy row. So let's start on this corner with this one. Then do a light one, and then a dark one. I chose this rectangle die as well because it's the only one in the set that had a beautiful debossed edge. It's got that extra line in it to give it that debossed feel, and I thought it would look really lovely. So we've gone with that row. Then we're going to come in with our navy blue and do 2 in the centre. Then we want to put 1 coming off the end, and we want to snip that off and bring it in the other end. And that's the perfect fit, because we knew 3 of them fitted really nicely, so we knew that that would work absolutely perfectly. Then we can go back in and repeat the row with the other 2 colours, but going light, dark, light with the colours this time. And then the navy blue row again. So to do this I've used 6 navy blues, 3 of the sea salt green and 3 of the spearmint green. So pretty decent sort of amount of shapes to fill up an entire background, which I think is really good. And these can actually be scraps as well. It doesn't have to be cutting into a new sheet of cardstock. These were actually scraps from my scrap box. I'd been doing some other projects for Tonic for Create and Craft, and I had used this colour scheme on one of the cards and really enjoyed it, so I had all of these scrap pieces left over in my scrap box, so I just pulled them out and used them to cut all of these pieces out, and then you get this beautiful kind of brick work kind of pattern. Press them down really firmly again, just to make sure everything is really well stuck on the adhesive sheet, and then flip it over and trim off the excess. So I'd say that my usual instinct for backgrounds like this would be to take this and put a white glitter on it, because I really like the contrast between the white and the beautiful colours, and it would make the pattern pop out really nicely. However, I wanted to do something a little bit different and to show you how to use some of the bits from your stash. So we're going to go in with a few gilding flakes on each of the backgrounds first, and then we're going to fill in the rest of the design with different glitters as well, and silver rather than white that I would normally use for this kind of a background. So we're going to go in with the silver bullion gilding flakes. You can see how full the Nuvo pots are, and they're really large flakes as well, and these are tiny areas, so I'm literally going to like pounce with a big flake over the top to get it to stick in random little areas. We don't want it like to be too heavy coverage anywhere. It doesn't matter if you do get a heavy coverage, but I think I want more of like a little broken up flakes kind of effect for this sort of background. I'm kind of inspired by, I don't know if any of you drink Nespresso, but the new pods from this year, I think they're called Pierre Henri, with like the coloured design, and then they have like little flecks of gold on them. I was kind of thinking of that sort of idea for this kind of background, but it's a little bit different because you've got the die cuts over the top, so it's just sort of roughly based on that kind of thing that I saw. So I'm going to just do one more flake, I think, and then just try and like break up the smaller pieces. I know usually you want larger pieces for a background, but because we're working with such small adhesive areas, I think those smaller little fragments are going to look really effective for this. I don't know if this is going to work because I haven't tried it yet, you know, putting a mixture of gilding flakes and glitter through die cuts, but I'm really hoping that it gives a really cool result. And I'm going to like burnish some of this in to try and again break up the flakes a little bit, so that you can get some smaller bits in different areas as well. So hopefully that's given us, you know, like a random coverage all over. Then I'm going to go with the hexagon background and do the same thing. This has slightly larger openings in different areas, so we might get a different sort of result from this. We might get larger areas having the foil on. I'm not really sure what it's going to look like, but I think it's going to look good. So we're sort of experimenting with this one together. So just flick some of those around, pressing some of them into the adhesive or just randomly sticking them on. You can go heavier in some areas if you want. Okay, I think maybe I did go a little bit too heavy in some areas. So maybe I won't burnish that in quite so much. I'll just sort of randomly go over that. Okay. Then the final one is this kind of one with the skinny rectangles with the beautiful designs in. So let's try and like break these flakes up here so they float down in different areas. No, that doesn't work as well. I think the pouncing method is the best. Okay, so just randomly pouncing them. Okay, so the thing is, it's like the balance between, I don't want to add too much gilding flake that there's not enough places for the glitter to stick, but I don't want to add not enough gilding flakes that you can't even tell that I put gilding flakes on there. So hopefully we've got a happy medium in all of these. So I'm going to put the lid back on those. You can see how they fly everywhere, gilding flakes. You'll probably find gilding flakes all around your craft room for a few weeks after you've been using them. So let's go back to that first one, and we'll bring in first of all some of the silver tinsel glitter and just sprinkle some on here. Now if silver doesn't look good, then you'll know not to use silver with these colours, but I'm hoping it will still look nice, even though I would usually go for like a white to really make the contrast pop. but I'm hoping that it will still look good. So I'm just going to go silver in a few areas and sort of burnish that in. Then we've got the steel grey, which is kind of like, oh, I haven't used this one yet. It's kind of like a really dark bluey grey, I think. This one. I think I got this in one of those bundle deals that they did a little while ago, or probably like a year ago now, with like loads of the bigger tubs of glitter. You got them really reasonable. I think that's probably where I got this one from. But look how beautiful that colour is. It really is like a blue grey. So we can tip some of this on as well. And hope that this still looks nice. I could have done the safe route and just gone silver gilding flakes and silver glitter, but I wanted to try adding in something a little bit different. And then I've got a little sponge to really help get all of the glitter and gilding flakes burnished down into that adhesive, especially in all these tiny little areas in these die cuts. Okay, I think that looks quite nice. That tiny bit of that steel blue colour in there, and with the gilding flakes and the glitter, I think that looks quite nice. It kind of looks like an aged mirror with like die cuts over the top of it, you know, with like some kind of lattice over the top of it. It's given that like mercury glass kind of a look to it. I like that. I do think that works really well. Okay, let's try the other ones. So let's go with this one next, and we'll tip this excess onto this one so we're not wasting it. Not that there's really much there at all, but we might as well use it up. So you can move that around. Let's go with just a little bit more of the silver. Let's go more of the steel colour this time. Okay, let's see how that turns out. We've got our sponge again, which is full of glitter as well. That steel blue really makes the gilding flakes pop, because you can really see the difference between the colours. You can see there, you've got even more of like a mottled effect, where you can really see where the gilding flakes were, and then that steel blue glitter. I like that a lot. I think that looks really good. And then that's like a comparison between the two of them, with less steel blue and more steel blue. If I just scooch you along there a little bit more. Then the final one is the beautiful hexagons. Again, we'll tip some of that excess onto here. Then I think I'm going to be more specific. So I think targeting the navy blue with the silver, because that'll pop out really nicely next to the navy blue, and then going for the steel blue elsewhere. It was called steel blue, steel grey, sorry, I'm calling it steel blue. So you get more of a contrast, I think, hopefully. And we should really be able to see those gilding flakes pop out as well. So I really like that. I did go a lot heavier with the glitter that time. You definitely could put the rest of this glitter in a pot and keep it, because it is kind of a mixture of glitter and gilding flakes now, but you definitely could put that in a pot and keep it for another application as well. Oh, I really like that. it looks really aged. That's really cool. I'm really glad I tried that technique now. So you've got the gilding flakes, and then this area is focusing on the silver glitter, so it all looks quite uniform with silver gilding flakes and silver glitter. But this area, because we put the steel grey on, we've got the gilding flakes really popping through as the silver, and then that steel grey. That is really lovely. Okay, so let me clean up all of this, and then I will come back and show you our 3 finished backgrounds. Okay, so these are our 3 backgrounds using some of the beautiful patterned dies from the Perfect Pergola Hexagon box, which is Showcase 32 from Tonic, along with the wide roll of double-sided tissue tape from Craft Perfect, some Nuvo Gilding Flakes in silver bullion, and also some pure sheen glitters in silver tinsel and the steel grey as well. But any colours that you have will work really nicely. I think copper gilding flakes with coppery goldy coloured glitters would look fantastic as well, maybe with brown or craft or the glazed chestnut pearlescent cardstock that Tonic do as well would look really nice as a different colour combination for these as well. But this is what our 3 backgrounds have turned out like. So we've got our kind of brick pattern that went heavier with the silver glitter, so you can hardly see any of this sort of like texture that's appeared from where some of the gilding flakes were down, and then the steel grey glitter has gone over the top. We've got this one which we went slightly heavier with the steel grey glitter, and you've got more of that beautiful aged kind of look showing through. And then the finer one where we went really heavy with the grey colour of glitter in those 4 kind of hexagons, and then we went focused on the silver in the blue hexagons. So I think to finish off all of these cards, all I'm going to do is stamp out a little sentiment. I'm probably going to use the Simply Sentiments A6 stamp set, or I might use a CRaFTi die cut or something just to finish those off, and really quick and simple kind of cards. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial video. Don't forget, I also do an up-close video for all of the showcase die sets that I get sent from Tonic. I haven't done one in a while because I haven't been sent the sets in a while, but there is one for this one and it should have gone up yesterday, so if you didn't see that then you can go and check that out if you want a few more ideas, or well, actually these are the only cards that are going to be in that video, but it will be showing you again in more detail what the actual die set creates and showing you the die set in more detail as well. So really hope you enjoyed this tutorial video. Hope you're enjoying CRaFTi Advent as well, because I know this is one of the videos in CRaFTi Advent, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye!